Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Favorite Live Album by Year. We have finished off with the 70s. We are now into the 80s. 1980. Another pretty good year for live albums. We're kind of like not yet at the emergence of a lot of the cool 80s hard rock and metal albums. Through the 70s we had great prog stuff, classic rock, some early heavy stuff. 1980 was a really cool year because a lot of different genres, a lot of different bands releasing very cool live albums from, classic rock, hard rock, some prog, jazz, all sorts of things. And another really difficult decision to make here. Actually, two difficult decisions. So I had like a finalist. What I do is I go through all of the live albums that came out in that year, and I usually just, anything that I really, really like a lot, I put on my spreadsheet. And then once I've gone through it all, I'm like, all right, what do I got? And, for some of these years, I've got 10, 15. Some I have maybe 3, maybe 4. For this year, I had, I think it was 6 real strong candidates. And none of them to me were clear-cut winners. I could have made a case for any of them. But what I generally do, when I have a tough decision like this, I go back and I'm like, well, what kind of history do I have with some of these? And which ones have I owned the longest? Which ones, maybe going back, which ones do I listen to the most now? Which ones do I listen to the most back then when they came out? So here it kind of came down to 2 of them. I probably listened to one a little bit more today, but I just couldn't deny how much I totally loved the other one back in the day. And I still really love it a lot. And that ultimately made up my mind right there. So my winner, released June 4th, 1980 here in the U.S., released about a month later, 2 months later in the UK in August, released on the Arista label, produced by basically the spokesman, one of the leaders of the band, Mr. Ray Davies, recorded throughout their tour of 1979 and 1980. I'm talking about the Kinks, One for the Road. Hard to deny this. This is a killer live album. I mean, I bought this when it first came out, and I was 14 years old. I listened to this a ton in 1980 and 81 and 82 and all throughout the 80s and the 90s. I still put this on every so often and really love it. To me, this is like the greatest hits live of the Kinks. I really like the late 70s, early 80s version of the Kinks. I love that's kind of like their power period, right? The kicked up guitars by Dave Davies, the sarcastical, charming wit of Ray, and, playing all these classic songs from throughout their history and really amping them up quite a bit. I mean, The Hard Way, love that. Catch Me Now I'm Falling, such a great anthem. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Great riff, right? Lola, just legendary song right there. I love the call and response with the audience on that. Pressure, pressure, I've got pressure. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, another great song. All Day and All the Night is just so heavy on here. What a gargantuan guitar tone from Dave on this song. 20th Century Man, so cool. Misfits, Prince of the Punks, and he finally made it. Stop Your Sobbing, Low Budget. Love Low Budget on here. Go On With Your Attitude. I Wish I Could Fly Like Superman. I mean, this band is just like, Riff City, left and right. Just so amazing. I Wish I Could Fly Like Superman. Just absolutely spectacular on here. National Health, Till the End of the Day, Celluloid Heroes, gorgeous on here. You Really Got Me, fiery as all hell. Victoria and David Watts. I love the playful David Watts. Really cool. I mean, just amazing stuff. Amazing, amazing album. Like I said, loved it when it first came out. I remember, when this came out in 1980, I remember myself and a good friend of mine, we just entered high school. We were totally into this. We would talk about this all the time and blah, blah, blah. And I remember some of the kids in high school who were a little bit older than us, to them, the Kinks were like an old band. They were like an old farts band. They're like, the Kinks, you should be listening to, Sabbath and Van Halen and Ozzy and all that kind of stuff, which we were. But we just got enraptured by this, and like some of the hard rock and soon to be called metalheads were like, screw the Kinks, and I was like, no, this is good, this is heavy, give it a chance, and I still love it to this day. So that is my number one. My number two, like I said, if I would have gone by, which one of these I probably listened to a little bit more today, I probably would have gone with this one. But like I said, I have such a strong history with One for the Road. And this one as well, but I went with the Kinks ultimately here. But this one is very close behind. This was released November 3rd, 1980, recorded throughout their 1978 tour, as well as a couple dates in 1980 at the Hammersmith in London, right? Released on a bunch of labels, depending on where I bought this as an import back in the day. United Artists, Polydor, Atlantic, Liberty EMI in the UK and Germany, produced by Martin Birch, of course. I am talking about Live in the Heart of the City by Whitesnake. Yeah, like I said, I had this on glorious LP back in the day with the big, gatefold, and you don't quite get all the glory in the CD here. This particular CD issue, this is a EMI Castle release, but the music is still there, and it's still the music I love. This is early Whitesnake, the bluesy Whitesnake. Come On, Sweet Talker, my favorite version of Walking in the Shadow of the Blues ever, with some just sizzling Bernie Marsden on the Gibson Les Paul. Love Hunter is great on here. You got an early version of Fool for Your Lovin' before they decided to remake it, obviously. Ain't Gonna Cry No More Today, glorious on here. Ready and Willin'. Are you ready and willin'? Are you ready and willin'? Are you ready and willin'? Well, we are. Great. Take Me With You. Frantic as all hell, just great on the second disc on here. Again, this is from 1978. The first disc on the CD is from 1980. Might Just Take Your Life. All right, we all know that song, right? Lie Down, Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. I mean, that's become like one of their signature songs, right? Trouble and Mistreated, a blistering Mistreated with some just sensational guitar playing from Mickey Moody and Bernie Marsden. Yeah, this is really great. Really great. And, anybody who, discounts Whitesnake because they don't like the 87 album and don't like Slip of the Tongue, and that's all they know by them, obviously you have not heard the early Whitesnake, because the early Whitesnake was basically just an extension of what Coverdale was doing in Deep Purple. That's the truth of the matter. Maybe even a little more bluesy, right? Just dueling twin guitars, soulful vocals, really great bluesy hard rock songs. I mean, none of the image thing. This is all about the music, and great music. You got John Lord and Ian Pace on board here, Neil Murray. I mean, it's a great Whitesnake lineup, right? These guys were killing it. So don't discount Whitesnake if you haven't heard the early stuff, because I bet you would change your opinion. If you don't like the more kind of image-conscious, heavier, glammy stuff, I don't consider it glammy, but you know what I mean, of the 80s, the late 80s, then you need to go back in time and revisit the early stuff. So there you have it, everybody. Those are my picks for today. We've got number one, the Kinks, One for the Road. Coming in a close second, Whitesnake, Live in the Heart of the City. Those are my one and two. Yeah, some other ones I had to kind of, put by the wayside today, but that's okay, because I know other people will pick them in the comments below. That's what it's all about. We want to get everybody involved, picking their favorite live albums from 1980 and their runner-up. So thanks for contributing, participating. We've got we're just at about the halfway point in the month, so we got a lot to go, right? 1980, we're going to go all the way up to 1998, so stay tuned each and every day here on the channel. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up, speaking of Deep Purple, coming up tonight on the Hudson Valley Squares, we took last Monday off for the Labor Day holiday. Tonight, we are coming back with the same topic we were going to do last week. We've got an album comparison show, 2 one-off lineups, 2 one-off albums from Deep Purple. We've got the Tommy Bolin album, Come Taste the Band, going head-to-head with the Joe Lynn Turner album, Slaves and Masters. Everybody on the panel is going to be discussing what they like or don't like about these two albums and pick a favorite of the two. So stay tuned. That should be loads of fun. We've got Martin Popoff also joining and Louis Nasser, so should be a blast. So stay tuned for that tonight. Tomorrow, we've got In the Prague Seat. We're going to go back. Each of us are going to revisit the year of our school graduation. and we're going to pick our favorite prog releases from those particular years. So whether you were listening to them or not at the time of your graduation time, or maybe you fell up in love with these albums afterwards, that's not important. We're going to go back to our grad years, and we're going to pick our 5 favorite prog related, prog metal, jazz fusion. That's what we cover on In the Prog Seat. Wednesday, we've got What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility, new album review day. And Thursday, back to the Monsters Den. We're going to be looking at some of our least favorite horror sequels. Those horror sequels that absolutely suck. Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff this week, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite hired guns. Those musicians that just seem to show up everywhere but never stick around for too long. And then, of course, on Sunday, album homework assignment, Chris Allo, Louis Nasser, head-to-head. You don't want to miss that. That should be loads of fun. So lots happening here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that notification bell if you want to make a donation. We've got the link to our Ko-Fi page below, as well as the link to our merch page. All sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff that you can wear proudly out there and spread the word. And the link to Sea of Tranquility, the webzine, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. So thanks for watching. I'm Pete Pardo. See you later on the Hudson Valley Squares. Take care. Bye-bye.